Hi everyone, it was Bafidis from the Junior Senior School here in sunny Cyprus, back with another video, and this one's all about Minecraft. I'm using Minecraft Education Edition because it is awesome. You've got features like coding in there, but this particular exercise I'm going to show you can use with any version of Minecraft. Now, the whole point of this is to create engaging, exciting environments for your students, so your students want to take control of their learning. They want to answer more questions. Believe it or not, that is possible. And not only they're going to answer the questions, they're going to review all the questions again and just check all their answers. You can use this method to create mark sheets which you can modify very quickly, give them to the students, that they can use this world to check their work and their progress. So instead of talking about it too much, let's jump right into it. Okay, I've got a world here which is a practice escape room. Now, I actually made this to help my students learn how to play Minecraft, but also to check their knowledge about 365 applications after I taught them a few things. Okay, so here's the general concept. We can see we're trapped in this room here. This is our escape room. We've got 5 levers here. Now, we don't have to have only 5. We can have less or we can have more, as we're going to see in the next room. And we've got an iron door. There's a reason we have an iron door. Let me just bring the help function there as well. Okay, so you can see the iron door cannot be opened manually. You need redstone to actually open an iron door. So how does this door open? Well, the students, they have to figure it out. Usually I will have something like a podium with a book and quill, and it has instructions, and basically in this one it tells them to have a look around and try and figure out how to open the door. And essentially the door will only open when you put the correct combination of numbers. You can see I've got some boards at the top here, some signposts here, and they've got numbers. So if you choose the correct combination, that door will open. Now, that combination can either be an answer to a mathematical question, an answer to a multiple choice question. If it's a multiple choice, you've only got one answer, it has to be the right one. But that will make it really easy when you've only got 5. They just check all of them. So this one here, essentially, it's just a practice room. They walk around and they come to this sign here. It says enter the code 135. So when they enter the code 1, 3, and 5, there you go, that door will open. Any other combination will lock that door. Okay, and this is what I'm going to teach you how to create. Okay, so this door is open. Essentially what you would do when you go through the door, there will be a pressure plate there, and when they step on that, it would either drag them to another room that they have to escape from. Isn't that cool? And this room here is essentially all about getting the students to learn to play Minecraft. So here they have to learn how to do a long jump, a double jump. Oh, I failed. So now they're trapped. They've got this little pressure plate here to go back, and I'm going to try that again. Oh, I failed again. If I fail again, I'm just going to fast forward this. There you go, I'm over. So you can see here we've got exactly the same as before, but this time we've got all of the letters of the alphabet. So this particular escape room, they have to find the answer. There's going to be a word, and they have to tick, or actually check, move the levers here, to choose the letters which make that word. So they have to look for that book and quill. Here we go. And I've actually got a little booby trap here, a little tripwire there. That will take them back to the beginning. There's the book and quill. And the question is all about which 365 application do we use to save our files? Well, the answer is obviously OneDrive. So here we go. We're going to go back. I'm probably just going to show you this booby trap as well. There you go. But they're trapped. They're back to the first one. The door's open, obviously. And they can just go on that pressure plate and go back again. Okay, I have to do this long jump again quickly. There we go. Okay, so OneDrive has obviously got 2 E's. So in this case, what I do, I normally explain that if the letter appears twice, it's like Hangman. You only need to choose it once. So for example, I'm going to tick the E, and I've got here all the letters which are created, which are required to create the word OneDrive already. I've got the V there, the R, but I've also got one selected here so that the door is locked, and you can see it won't work, and that's the A. As soon as I turn A off, there you go, the door opens. Okay, and that's essentially what we're going to learn to do today. So I've shown you a small one with 5 levers, and here we've got one with the whole alphabet. So let's go to a world which I've generated to show you how to create this. Okay, so here's the world where I've generated a wall instead of the whole room. I mean, I'm sure you guys can create a room on your own. I'm just going to show you some of the mechanics, so we're going to build this very quickly. So at the back, these redstone torches decide which levers are the correct answers. So you can have one or more than one or all of them, that's up to you. And essentially we're going to generate one small portion. I'm going to show you only this small portion here today. Okay, and then towards the end of the video, I'm going to show you how you can clone this and do the rest of these. I wanted to show you the finished product because this is a sample of, let's say, each color-coded section represents a question. So when they answer that question, they will go here. If they think, for example, the answer for this question is number 2 and 3, for example, then they will do the next question. That will be the next section, the red one. So the colors actually help them distinguish the questions. And not all the questions have to have 5 levers. It's up to you. And the thing is that they have to answer all of these correctly. If they don't answer all of them correctly, that door will not open and they will not be able to progress through to the next stage. So what happens if they think they've answered all of them, the door doesn't open? Students have to go back and review all the questions and their answers again. And that's where learning happens, when they go back and review those questions and review their answers, say, ah, that's what I did wrong. Okay, so let's start building. Okay, so here I found an area where I'm going to start building our escape room. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place an iron door. And let me just show you my inventory. So here's my inventory here. So we've got a few redstone items, redstone dust, a torch, a repeater. We've got a lever here, a pressure plate, our iron door, and some building blocks. Okay, we're going to need the command block later. Now we're going to use that for the teleporting. We're also going to need command blocks so that we can protect the world to prevent students being able to change the game mode to creative and have them destroy it and break the, or accidentally break the levers or the walls and, you know, try and cheat their way out. So let's go back. So next step is we're just going to build the wall with the levers on it. So next step, we're going to add the redstone, which is going to control this door. Now we need the redstone to actually touch this block here. So I'm just going to dig out this area here. And I'm going to go back a little bit because this is where I want to control the door at the back end of the wall. So you can travel this and you can take this, you know, far away to another side so the students don't have access to this. And I'm just going to put some redstone dust here. And just take that all the way back. And then at the back here, I'm going to put a repeater just to make sure that the red energy can reach the door from the input. Now with repeaters, when you place a repeater, you need to be facing in the direction where you want that energy to be able to travel. A repeater only allows red energy to travel one direction. So if you know a little bit about electronics, it's like a diode, it's one way. So the way to know that is if you look at the repeater from the side, you've got the 2 redstone torches here. That's the front end, that's where the output goes, and this is where you expect the input to come in. So this is where we will put our redstone. So the energy is going to flow from here forward. And if we want to test this, I'm just going to put a lever here, and I'm going to switch that on, and there you go. You can see the door open over there, and now it's closed. So I know that this track of redstone dust here is working. Next step, I'm going to build the wall. So I'm going to add a block there because I can't put a block on top of here because we've got the redstone dust there. I can't add one there. So I'm going to add a block there, put one there, and then I can just break that away and build on top of this. And then I'm going to use this white concrete here to put the levers on. There we go. And let's just close that wall there. Now I'm not going to build the rest of the room. You only need the one wall. I think the rest of it you can manage to build. So there's my wall. I'm going to add some levers on there as well very quickly. Okay, and that's where the students are going to be working to add their inputs. And next we want to add the control at the back. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some more white concrete. I like putting white concrete when I'm going to put redstone dust because that actually makes the redstone dust stand out a bit. So you can see I put 2 layers there. So 2 layers here, and they're right underneath where the levers are. The reason why is because redstone energy from a lever will travel 2 blocks. It can't travel more than that. So that's fine. That's the one block. That's the other block down there. And I'm just going to put redstone dust on all of these. Okay, and the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how this works essentially. Any one of these levers now, if they turn on, that gives energy to all of these. And that's not what we want, because if we run the energy from here to here, that's going to open the door no matter what they turn on. But we want a combination. So the trick is this: if I want them to switch, for example, the combination is this one here, which is 1, 2 and 4, then I need to add a redstone torch here. I can't add one because there's dust. I'm going to break the dust and put the torch there. Break that one and put the torch there. And you can see that automatically gives me red energy. And if I run this dust now from here, that's automatically going to give me a signal, and that's going to open the door. And we don't want that. Okay, so what we need to do, we need the output to be the opposite. So if I break that redstone dust there and there, oops, let me just fix that. There, put the redstone dust back, and I'm going to put a redstone torch here for the output. Now the reason I put redstone torch here is because redstone torch works as an inverter. When it's connected to a block which is energized, the redstone torch is off. When it's connected to a block which is not energized, like this one here, the redstone torch is on. So here, if I turn this lever on the other side on, that redstone torch is going to turn off. You see that? So that's off. Now this one here will only light up if all of these are off. Okay, so to make this work, I need to make sure that one's off, that one's also off, that one's on. Okay, and there you go, the door opens. Why? Because this one is giving, this one's off, and this one's off. All right, that's these three here, that one, and that one. These ones are on and on. And that basically means because they've got energy, these redstone torches are off. So essentially all of this is off, turning this inverter on, and the door opens. And that's it. That's how you make the combination. Okay, so if I turn any one of these and put them in the wrong direction, that door closes. Okay, now if you want to change the combination, wow, that's super easy. All you have to do is just, you can break the, I've just broken the wall there. Let's just add the wall there. Just add the torches where you want the answers to be. Let's say I want the combination to be these two here now. Well, let's put 3. It's that one, and that one. And just fill the rest with redstone. That's it. So now the combination is 2, 3, and 4. Oh, I dropped this before. That's why we have to protect our world so students can't break things accidentally. So the only way this is going to work is if I turn on 2, 3, and 4. You see, any other combination doesn't work. So if I turn on 2, 3, and 4, there you go. It works. Now, to give your students to know what each lever represents, you need to put signs up here. Let me just show you a sign. If I just put here and I just type a sign, I like using this sign here, the birch sign. I'm just going to replace my iron door with that because it's easier to read. So if I put a sign here, let's say it's multiple choice, that's going to be A. Press escape to get out, and that's going to be B. Let's put capitals, and so on and so forth. Okay, let's just put the rest of them. C, D, and E. So there you go. You got multiple choice, A, B, C, D, E. Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do the rest, how to add more of these, clone these later, but I just want to show you a complete room first. So the next step is going to be to make the teleport room. Okay, now to do that, we need a command block. To give you, now command blocks do not exist in the standard inventory. So if you try and look for a command block, it's not going to be there. Okay, so you have to give yourself a command block. To do that, I'm going to press the letter T on my keyboard. That's going to open the chat section. I'm going to type a command. Type a command. We're going to use the / command. I'm going to type give. There you go. It says give here. Well, as soon as I press space, it tells me who I can give. Okay, so I'm going to give myself. That's going to be @s. And what I want to give myself is a command. There it is there. A command block. Can you see it? So I'm just going to type that out. Command _ block. Now, if I press enter, it says here, there you go, you've been given a command block. Now, where is that command block? If I had an empty slot in my backpack at the bottom, it would have placed it there, but because I don't, it's added it here in my inventory. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of that and put that there. Now if I had that empty space there, it would have added it there automatically. And there's my command block. Okay, so now I've got a command block. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to build a room, a small room, let's say, where I'm going to put this command. I'm just going to make a very small room, so I'm just going to make this using red blocks now. All right, put that there. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to say this is the room that they're going to walk through. And again, I'm just making a footprint. So this is just a very small room. You can design it the way you want. And I'm going to put my pressure plate here. So I'm going to dig 2 blocks down. 1, 2. Okay. And at the bottom, I'm going to place my command block. Right down there. Okay, and on top of that afterwards we're going to put a grass block and we're going to put our pressure plate. So before we do that, we need to program this command block. So I'm going to right click on it, and there we go. Here's the settings for the command block. First of all, because this command block is already an impulse type, and we know it's type impulse because it's that brown color. If it was a chain, if I change that to chain, have a look, it turns into a green color. If we make it into a repeat block, which we're going to see later, turns blue. So this is an impulse command block, and the good thing with an impulse command block is, you know, it will work once, it will execute its command, and that's it. And whenever it's triggered, it's just going to execute the command. So the command is going to be teleport that player somewhere. So I'm just going to say, I'm going to find the coordinates. Always good to know the coordinates. Let's say I'm going to teleport myself here. Okay, so that's 48, 4, 33. So you can see the position where I am now, 48, 4, 33. So you would obviously write, let's just do that there. So I'm going to type teleport, and then you can see here it says who you're going to teleport. So I'm just going to put the nearest player. That means any player who's nearest to that command block, and that's essentially the person on top of it, at P and 44, 4, and I think that was 33, I can't remember. Anyway, let's just see what's going to teleport me. And I'm going to close that now, and that's essentially it. You don't need to do anything. The condition is unconditional, which means it doesn't depend on something else to actually execute. When you have a chain, then it does actually depend on something else happening before that one executes. And we actually say that we want this command block, it needs redstone. Okay, and that redstone is just red energy, not the redstone itself. And it's going to get that energy from the pressure plate. So let's just close that. We're going to close that block, and we'll just get some green grass there. I'm going to close that off, and I'm going to put my pressure plate on top. There we go. So now let's simulate. Let's say this is all off. The students need to figure out the code. They're trying all these things. They're trapped in this room. They can't get out. Once they've discovered the code, boom, 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 door opens. They're going to walk through, and as soon as they step on that pressure plate, there you go. They've been teleported. Okay. So every time they go through, and that could be another room, it could be another room with instructions. For example, congratulations, you've broken out, you solved all the questions correctly, well done, so on and so forth. And then what happens, they might be given instructions on what to do to submit the work, or you might have a code. I usually put a secret code, and they have to email that to me, and I know that if they've got that code, that means they've actually solved the problems, and they've been teleported to a secret location with that code. Okay, the next step before I show you how to clone this so you can have something like I've got over here, I'm going to show you how you can actually protect the world so that students can't break things, they can't change the game mode, and they can't cheat essentially. Okay, so I'm going to go back over here, and we're going to place these commands on the other side of the room, the area where the students will not have access. They won't be able to see any of these mechanisms because they can't break the walls, and they can't get to the back end of the room to see where all the mechanics are. Okay, so let's protect the room. Now to do this, I'm going to add 2 command blocks. Now notice when you place a command block, if I place this command block here, if I go to the side, can you see it's facing that way? It's facing the direction I was standing when I placed that block. So if I place the block and on top and I place it downwards, then there you go. That arrow is facing where I was when I placed that block. What I want to do, I want to put 2 blocks, 1, 2. So I've got the arrows facing one going into the other. And essentially we're going to change these into chain command blocks. So first thing I'm going to do is go to right click and change this from impulse, well not a change, sorry, a repeat. Because we want these command blocks to repeat all the time. Whenever a student or a player tries to change the game mode, they will be automatically changed back to adventure mode. Okay, so it needs to be monitoring this all the time. So that's the first one. There you go, it's blue. And I'm going to change that to repeat as well. Now then, the reason we've got 2 blocks is because the 2 modes that students will go into and that will allow them to break things and modify things is survival mode and creative mode. So we want 1 block to be checking any players that go into creative mode will be changed back to adventure mode, and any players that go to survival mode will automatically go back to adventure mode. Okay, and these will be constantly working as soon as I give them redstone or red energy. These will not work until they have been energized. Okay, so first step. Now, all of these here, these are fine. So the condition is unconditional and we want them to be controlled with redstone. We don't have delays or ticks. So the only thing that we need to do once we change this to repeat is to add the command. So here's the command you're going to add, the first one in one of the blocks. Now which one you add, which command in makes no difference. So the command is game mode 2. That basically will change the game mode to 2. 2 is adventure mode, 0 is survival mode, 1 is creative mode. So this is basically saying change the game mode to adventure mode for all players. You can see it's got the at A is all players. All the players which are currently in game mode 1, which is creative mode. So basically this is going to be checking any players that change their game mode to creative mode will automatically be changed back to adventure mode. Okay, then we're just going to close that, and now we're going to right click on the other block. There you go, that's a repeat again, need to so, and the next rule is change the game mode to adventure mode, which is game mode 2 for all players which are in mode 0. So that means anybody who changes their game mode to survival mode will automatically be changed to adventure mode. Okay, that's it. Now keep in mind, as soon as you energize these command blocks, you are also a player and you will be locked out. So I'm going to show you how you can change that. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get some redstone. In fact, I'm not going to put redstone. I'm going to energize them with the lever here. So I'm just going to put some redstone dust, just so I can switch that on and off. Okay, and I'm just going to put the lever here, and I'm going to be in the right direction. There we go. Okay, now as soon as I switch this on, this is going to give red energy to these 2 here. And I'm just going to put I always put a repeat in the middle, so that just actually amplifies the signal. And as soon as that turns on, these are going to be enabled, and you're going to have a look where it's got my position. It's going to change my game mode automatically. Here we go. Okay, can you see? Set Nicholas P's game mode to adventure. Now students are not going to be able to come here and switch this off. You're not going to be able to come here and switch that off. I can't fly, I can't do anything, I can't break anything now. However, my door works, my combinations work, everything that I'm using works fine. I can't break the switches or the levers by accident, and if I do actually turn the correct combination, that door opens, and when I step on this block, boom, I'm teleported. So that worked. So how do you break out of this? Even if you switch this over now, because you can't, I mean, if I switch that over, I can go and change my game mode now because these aren't working. But you're also going to be trapped here. Okay, you're not going to be able to break out of here either. So to do this, you need to enter a command. So let's have a look at the command. I'm going to press T, and I'm going to type /game rule, and I want to change the rules of the game, and I'm going to type command blocks. Can you see there, enabled? It's got that command there, command blocks enabled. That's the one I want. Blocks enabled. board. This is actually good because if you make a spelling mistake, you can actually see the spelling there. Space, and then I'm going to put force, and that basically means this is going to disable all command blocks. Okay, now if I do that now, there you go, I'm still in the adventure mode, but I can change. So if I type now game mode 1, which is creative, or if you put C, that will also work. Now it's changed and I'm in creative mode. There we go. Now if I enable again, so I don't have to go back and turn that switch on, if I enable this again and I just put command blocks enabled true, you can see automatically I'm changed to adventure mode. If I try and change back to creative mode, game mode C, there you go, it changes. There you go, it says it's set own game to creative mode, and automatically I've been changed to adventure mode. So I can't change my mode. Okay, and the only way you can do this is if you turn the command blocks enabled force. So let's just do that now so we can continue. So T, I want command blocks enabled force. There we go, and now I'm going to press T. Now I'm using the up arrows and down arrows to change all the previous codes I've used. So I'm going to change command game mode to C, creative, and there you go. Okay, now I need to be able to test my game. This isn't teleporting me now because I've disabled all command blocks. That doesn't work. So to check my game, I need to turn this lever off. That's turned off these command blocks. Now I can go back and I can turn my game rule command blocks enabled true. Okay, there we go, and that will teleport me now. Alright, so essentially now that I've turned these off, my command blocks all work, these ones don't. They will only work once I've turned this lever on again. Alright, the next part of this video is going to be how you're going to clone this section here so you don't have to build it again and again and again. It takes time building these, so if you figure out how to clone, it works really well, really quickly. You can make a very long wall, a really long answer sheet, and just change the colors. So let's begin. Okay, to clone a three-dimensional shape, we need two coordinates, two opposite diagonal coordinates, and then we need the third coordinate, which is going to be the coordinate where we're going to tell it where to clone that three-dimensional shape. Now, depending on which two diagonal coordinates you choose, you need to know which is going to be the destination coordinate so that you place your cloned shape in the correct position, or exactly where you want it, if you want to be accurate. In this case, I do want to be accurate because I want to put the wall right next to this wall here, so it's one continuous wall. So here we go. What I do is this. I'm going to choose first of all some Go blocks to represent this. Okay, so I'm going to choose the top back right coordinate. So I'm going to choose this block here, and I'm just going to build this up a bit. Okay, so I'm going to put one more block at the top. That's the coordinate for the starting position, the beginning, okay, of the two coordinates. So I want that's going to be the one diagonal corner. So let's just get rid of those. Okay, the other diagonal corner that I want to select this wall is going to be this one here. Now the reason I've chosen this block here is this. One, it's in front of the lever, so it's going to select the levers as well. Two, I don't want the door. I only want one door, one exit door, so I don't need the door again. And three, I didn't use this block because I've got this separator wall here, and I've also got one here. So if I copy this section here, if you follow the hairline cross on my screen, that section there, and place that here, which is going to be my destination, then I'm only going to have that one separator wall. So essentially that's going to be my beginning diagonal, that's going to be my end diagonal. It's going to clone all of this, the levers as well, and it's going to clone this inverter redstone torch there as well because it's part of that selection, and it's going to place it right next to the existing wall on that block there. So how do I get the coordinates? Well, the easiest way to do this is to place your player in the block where you want to get the coordinate, and that's sometimes hard to do when you're moving around, you don't know which block you're on. So what I do is this: I'm going to go to get my first starting coordinate, I'm going to put a block underneath and break that one, and I'm going to go stand on top of that. Now I'm in the block which I want to be my beginning coordinate, and that's 58, 7, 55. Now whenever you're working with coordinates, you're going to need a notepad. Okay, you need a notepad. There we go. You need a notepad to jot these down. Now then, my end coordinate is going to be, so to figure that one out, I want to be in this block, so I'm going to break that block and I'm going to move right into that, so I'm standing in that block there. That's 54, 4, 50. And then my destination coordinate, I'm going to break that block and move up to the wall, there we go, and that's 55, 4, 56. Okay, so I've written those down, I can break that, and now I can clone. Now to clone, it's actually quite easy. I'm going to press T so I can enter the chat area and put / to enter a command. I'm going to type the command clone, and now I need to enter my coordinates. So the first coordinate I want is the beginning or the start, that one there, XYZ coordinates. So that is 58 space 7 space 55. The next one is my end coordinates, and that's 54, 4 and 50. 54, 4, 50. See, no commas, just spaces. And then the destination is going to be 54, 4 and 56. Now let's hope this works. As soon as I press enter, there you go, it's just cloned my wall. Now if I want to clone this again, all I need is the destination coordinate, just that block there, that one there. So I'm just going to walk up, and that's 55, 4, 62. And you can see it's only that last number that's changing, it's gone to 62. So I'm going to press T now and use the up arrow to find my previous command, and I'm going to change that now to 62. And there's my next wall. And I can just keep doing that as many times as I want. So 62, I can see it's a 6 block difference each time. So that's going to be 68. And then the next one's going to be 74. You can see how quickly we can do this. 74. And there you go. I just got a very, very quick long wall with all of these switches on there. Now, if you want to change the color, I'm only going to do one of these, then you're going to have to break walls and actually do that. So I'm just going to do just the one section for you. So let's say this is going to be my blue section for the blue questions. So I'm going to need to break these. So there is a bit of building here, okay, if you want to have, and then just add your levers again. Okay, so not too much of a job. And if you go at the back, you can see it's also taken off these things here. Now, I don't care about that because all of these here, can you see they've been cloned? They've all got the same combination. So if I want my second question to be a different combination, let's say it's only got one answer, and it's going to be that one there, and I'm just going to add redstone to the rest of them. These ones here, I want them to be, oops, I just broken the wall. So I might as well just change the color of that one as well. Let's make that one a pink color. Okay, so that represents another question, and I'm just going to put, let's say this one, the answer is going to be, it's going to have 2 answers, so it's going to be, let's say, break up that one and that one, and I'm going to put red dust on the rest. What am I doing? There we go. Oops, escape. Let me just copy that. Done. And put my red dust, and I've just lost my red dust. Red dust. Okay, bit fiddly working with, and you're just going, for each question you're going to modify what the answer is going to be. So if I don't want that, and just put some red dust there, and this one here, the answer is only the last one, or actually the first one, and just put the rest with red dust. Now the problem is this: if it's the first one, well done, that redstone torch there. Now all of these now will work, providing they've got the levers on the front. Let me just add these here. So for the pink section or the pink question here, the answers are D and E. Okay, now we want to make sure that this only works if all of these are correct. So we need to link these up. So to link these up, I'm just going to do this like this. That one. Let's get the white blocks. There. Okay. And I'm just going to put the white block here, 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 and here. And now I'm going to put, and again, I have to be careful, a repeater, because I want the flow to go from this direction towards my door. Okay, because any one of these, if the answer is wrong, then it's going to give red energy, and that means that down here is going to be off. So let's give that a go. As soon as I do this here, boom, there you go. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and there you go. You can see my door now is closed, because although this one's correct, and I know it's correct because that one's, look, this one is wrong. It's giving red energy, and that's coming down to my inverter and closing that door. So that door's only going to work if all of these have been answered correctly. So let me do that. So that one needs to be on. Over here I want that one. Oh, I've got number B and D. Turn those off, and then B and D. Let's see the next one. It's D and E. So all of those off. D and E on. Let's just pick up those. And then that one's only B. And then this one is those three. So let's just see. I've missed one somewhere. Okay, because I'm getting some energy somewhere. Let's have a look. Oh, there you go, that one there. So that one needs to be, all of these need to be off, and just that one on. Hey, there we go. And if we have a look now, my door's open because all of these are correct. And that's what the students would do. If one of these they've done wrong, they don't know, because they're on this side, they don't know which one of these questions they've answered wrong. They have to check all the questions and check their answers again. And remember, the final step will always be, once you're finished, before you export the world, turn this lever on, and that will lock the world, and they will not be able to break out of there. You just need to build your rooms and build some walls so they can't jump over, and you can just use this as a simple mark sheet. Okay, one thing I really hate when viewing a video tutorial is when little bits of details are left out, and it just leaves me with questions on how did they do that. So to make sure I've covered everything in this video, I'm going to show you the whole procedure of how to lock and export your world so that you can give it to your students, so that when they open the world, they start from the correct location and the world is in a state where it is locked and they cannot break it, or they can't change the game mode to go into survival mode so that they can make changes, or creative mode, of course. So here I am. We can see from my world here, I've already built up the walls, so you can see I'm in creative mode. This is me setting my world up. I've built up the walls so you can see the actual effect. I haven't put the roof. I just want to make it so that when I lock this, the player is not able to come out of this perimeter of the wall of this room. Now in creative mode, now once I've finished, I've set up my questions and I've set everything up, I'm going to come here and I'm going to enable this switch here. That's going to activate these two command blocks, which we've seen their purpose as repeat blocks will continually check for anybody trying to change the game mode to survival mode or to creative mode, and it will switch them back to adventure mode immediately. So as soon as I enable this, there we go, I2, you can see now on the screen, everyone now is in adventure mode, and that includes me as well. I can't do anything, I can't change anything, and if I try to change my mode back, I can't. For example, if I go to T and I go here, I've got some commands I've already put in. That's creative mode, game mode 1. You can use C, of course, as well, but I'm just going to use 1. And as soon as I do that, it says I've gone to creative mode, and automatically I've been changed back to adventure mode. So how do I get my player back in this area here, which is the breakout room? So to do that, I'm going to use the commands as follows. The first thing that I want to do is to set the game rule command blocks enabled to false. That will disable all command blocks. So these two command blocks here will not be checking continually in a repeat mode if somebody's changed the game mode. So here we go. I'm going to do that. So I want this one here, /game rule command blocks enabled false. I'm going to press enter. Now these here are not working. I'm going to leave them energized. I'm going to leave them energized because when I enable command blocks again, then it's going to automatically change everyone to adventure mode. Now I can change my game mode. So here we go, T, and I'm going to go to game mode 1, which is creative. Let's use C this time. Now I'm in creative mode. I'm able to fly, I can break things, I can build things, I can do anything I like. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to land inside the area where I want my students to be when they start the world, and that's this room here. So I'm just going to leave my player here. This is going to be my starting point. And now what I want to do is enable command blocks again. So once I've enabled them again, automatically the world's going to go to adventure mode. So here we go, T, game mode, game rule command blocks enabled. I'm going to change that to true, and you can see now I'm back in adventure mode. That means everything's working. And you can see now what I would do before I actually leave this world to export it, I will go and flip all these levers back up so they're all in the off position. Okay, and that would leave all of these in the position that you want the students to see them in when they start this world. Okay, now the final step is this. I need to export my world. So from here, I'm going to put my player in the position I want them to be. Maybe you've got a podium with your book and quill here with the question. You want them standing in front of that. That's fine. But I'm just going to leave my player here in front of the pink section here. I'm going to press escape, save and exit. That saved my world. Now I want to open my world again, but I'm not going to open it for play. Well, as soon as I select it, I want to go to settings. I'm not going to go to play. And now in the settings at the bottom, I now have export world. Clicking on this, it's going to ask me where I want to export my world. So you can export this anywhere you want. It makes no difference. Okay, and give it an appropriate name here. And simply click save. So if I was to save this now on my desktop, save, I'm just going to call this advanced workshop red command blocks. There we go, save. And now all I have to do, there you go, it's exported successfully. I just now need to give that file to my students somehow, either send it to them either in an email, put it in Teams. Very important point is make sure you're using the most updated version of Minecraft Education Edition, and make sure your students are also on the most updated version. So mainly to avoid any compatibility issues of your exported world when your students try to open that world and import it into their Minecraft Education Edition. Once they've done that, then it's imported. Essentially, the world will begin from the exact place where your player was when you exported that world. When you did that save and exit before you're exporting, when they start that world, they will begin from that position and in those world settings. Another important point is once they do actually import that world, all of your commands that you were writing and entering, they will not be passed through to the exported version. So they won't be able to press T and scroll up and down and see what commands you were using. Okay, that's it. I really do hope that you've enjoyed this, you found a use for this, you're going to be able to use it. I'd love to hear comments if you do build an escape room or you create a mark sheet like this one here. And if you do, yeah, your feedback will be absolutely awesome. So if you have learned something, you've enjoyed this, make sure you click like and make sure you subscribe so you can keep in touch with any other videos I create. Take care. Bye bye.